Welcome back to the 52 Weeks to Wealth. My name is Walter Amarello. We've been journeying through the 52 wealth principles over the last 10 weeks. And today we're discussing wealth principle 10, increase your income in surges and increments. Now, passive income is something that we're all striving for. Hands to the camera if that is true. You want more passive income. In fact, you want massive passive income. Excellent. Hands to the camera if you understand that means not doing absolutely anything and the money just flows into your account. Hands to the camera if that's true. Passive income is passive. It involves no work eventually. But up front, there is a heavy front load of work when it comes to passive income. Who's seen this to be true? Where are my landlords at? My passive investors. Yes, the people who invest in other people's deals that you had to at some point raise capital. You had to get the money to be able to invest in other people's deals. Now, investing in other people's deals is truly passive. And I will be talking about that a little bit later. Who knows they're going to be the bank one day. That is their goal. Be the bank. Excellent. Because the banks make all the money. They are truly passive forms of income. You put the money in and the bank sends the money to somebody else who pays them for them doing all the work. Now, wealth principle 10 is increments and surges. Increase your income in increments, which are small amounts over time, and then surges, which are large chunks. Think real estate investing. The increments would be landlords. We're getting a tenant's rent. We expect $100 to $200 a door per month. Now, this money comes in the beginning. Sometimes it's $0 per door. Where are my landlords at? Who's bought a property and didn't cash flow on month one? Right? Sometimes month one, it can be a little tricky. It's, there's expenses. You got a tenant that left. There's a tenant that's not paying. But we have a stabilization period, and slowly over time, it incrementally increases your income. And before you know it, 4 years go down the road, 5 years go down the road, and you've got surges coming in every single month. Now, even bigger surges would be flips. Who here has ever done a flip? Hands to the camera if you've done a flip before. Awesome. Awesome. Those are surges. Let's take that $100 per door and compare it to you do one single family flip and you make 25,000. It's the average. Or many of us have done 50. Who here has done a flip and made over $100,000? Awesome. Awesome. We love those projects. Those are our favorites. Those are surges. Now you need a couple surges here and there to give you confidence to get your increments up. Sometimes those surges allow you the ability to increase your increments incrementally in large amounts. One surge, say if $150,000 allows you to go and buy a property that's maybe worth $500,000 to $600,000, which is throwing off multiple hundreds of dollars per month. If you bought the right property, like we'll talk about our condos for a minute, $900,000 ended up purchasing us $18,000 a month. That's not all cash flow. Cash flow right now on that is probably close to $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Hands to the camera if you're okay with making an extra $4,000 or $5,000 a month. Awesome. Without the increments, without the surges, we wouldn't have the increments. Now, be the bank. The concept of it is passive investing in real estate. That's coming up. We are going to talk more about that in 2 weeks, April 16th. Who already has on their calendar April 16th as the day to learn how to be the bank? Excellent. Bring your friends, bring your family. Being an alchemist is about allowing other people to make money. I was asked a question this weekend. Who goes to networking events? Hands to camera if you go to networking events to find other people that you can work with, to add value to make money with, to partner with, just to learn from, maybe to hold yourself accountable, to get yourself around successful people. One of the wealth principles is you are the average of your 5 closest friends. Who's learned this? Who's seen this? You are the average of your 5 closest friends. So going to events where people are leveling up is a chance for you to level up yourself. This weekend, I met some really cool friends. I'm in a space, I'm blessed to be in a space where I could serve every day doing things that I love, where I can create alchemists, where I can build people who are building others. Hands to the camera if you're committed to becoming a millionaire and building millionaires through your experience, through education, through just responding to a text or a question. What you do through becoming successful enlightens and empowers others to also become successful. So I was at an event called Heroes, and there were 150 of us all alchemists, maybe we didn't carry the title and call ourselves alchemists and be Alchemist Nation. They all have their brands. They have their rock star celebrity status. But each one of them, when I mentioned alchemy, had read the book, The Alchemist. Each one of them, when I mentioned the fact that we're community-based, agreed that communities are the secret to getting people to build faster. They're the secret to getting people to feel confident making crazy decisions, crazy investments. They're the secret, the sauce to eliminating analysis paralysis, because other people are doing it, because other people are saying, here's how I did it. I looked at all the same information you're looking at. Let me skip you ahead. Mentors are found within communities. Hands to the camera if you have been a mentor to somebody. Awesome. Hands to the camera if you have leveraged mentors to get to the next level. If you've cheated, if you've beat the system by going to somebody who's already done it and saying, hey, how'd you do it? Increments and surges are formed through finding the right people. And like, you want a surge, a massive surge in your life? Go to a networking event where everybody's earning more than you. Or in the case of the event I just went to, go to a networking event where everybody's been a coach, trainer, teacher, speaker for a longer period of time than you. I got to hang out with a legend in our industry, Robert Allen. Who's read the book 1 Minute Millionaire or heard of it? It's one of our 52 books. He also wrote the book No Money Down. And he was there with some of his partners. He's 74 years old. He doesn't get paid. But one of the things with Hero is none of us get paid to speak there. None of us get paid to speak on that stage. Robert Allen flew in at his own cost, his own expense, to speak on a stage to empower us to go out and serve more people, to get deeper into our niches, to commit to our niches, not to give up on them. Where are my coaches at? Hands to the camera if you're a coach, a trainer, or a mentor. Awesome. Isn't it boring sometimes to teach the same thing over and over? You feel like you're answering the same questions and it's like, what? Terry says no. Terry, maybe you haven't created as much content as me and Mitch, right? So creating as much content.
It's not that. It's that I don't pay attention to the content. I pay attention to the people's eyes going, boom.
Let's give Dr. Terry Wader, one of our celebrity coaches, a round of applause.
I have to say that Doug is in the same camp I am. We really live for the eye-opening, the, oh my God, I get it, changing life thing. It's about them, not me.
Me too. Me too.
But, and actually,
you were behind my camera, Mike. I didn't see that.
so just a little hack around that too is the way Heidi and I talk about this all the time, because we did this where we were doing it every single day in treatment, where we had them and every weekend we did it and all of that. And the workaround, if you ever have that thought, is like, think of a band who has their hit, right? And they're playing the same song over and over and over again, and they never get tired of it. Why? I had this conversation with Hanson. You remember Hanson, Mbop? And so I was talking to them about it, and they were like, oh my gosh, like there are two things. They love the fact that Mbop is still a thing, and they love seeing the kids light up, and then the older generation. And then we talked about how they were being made fun of on Family Guy, and how Taylor was like, Glenn didn't realize that he was a guy. And he was like, dude, he's like, we were on Family Guy. Like, I don't care if we were made fun of. He's like, we're on one of the most iconic shows ever. Make fun of us all you want. And I'm only putting that out there is just because some of us, as we go, like, there are going to be times where maybe we could get locked into, oh my gosh, here we go again. Conversation number 2. Look at Tony Robbins, UPW. He's been doing for over 30 years. And every time he delivers it, it's like it's brand new, because it's not about him. It's about serving. And that's why, and Galt, I'm sure that's where you're getting to, is that's what it's about. And just give you some other examples to edify what you're very likely going to say.
Let's give our coaches a round of applause. They are right. They are right. So to that point, Chris Crone was on stage. Robert Allen was on stage. And what they said was, you have to pound these principles out of yourself over and over and say them in front of new audiences, say them in front of old audiences. What Robert Allen said, he said, I've been teaching the same concepts in real estate for the last 50 years, more than 50 years. And he said, I get the same questions. He said, it wasn't until the 5th time that somebody heard it, or the 7th time that somebody heard it, or the 3rd or the 10th time that somebody heard it, that they finally took action, that they finally understood what it meant to put in the offer, to go raise the capital, to be about delivering value to another human being seeking to deliver value before getting your own return. It wasn't until they heard it the 15th time or the 20th time, or they listened to my book 100 times, that they finally said, I closed on a deal thanks to you. And well, Robert Allen had the blessing to be in, and he said this in front of all of us, 150 real estate influencers, trainers, coaches, speakers. And he said, every one of you has read my book, No Money Down, right? And we all raised our hands. He said, every one of you has read the book, 1 Minute Millionaire. And we all raised our hands. And he said, I somehow was lucky enough to be in a position where I could change this many lives. But what's even more important is each one of you in this room is going out and changing people's lives. Each one of you has thousands of followers. You have built communities. You've built courses. And he said, I want you to stay committed to the core courses, the things that are changing people's lives. And the other stuff that comes up, just let it go. Just let it go, because that stuff isn't moving your internal mission forward, or the planet's mission. Hence the care, if you know, your success will lead to other people's success in increments and in surges. Now, what we did this weekend was a surge for our industry. We all committed to building and improving our programs. The biggest point behind Hero was that we want our programs to create and have a tracking feature to them, so we can track our students' success. A lot of these speakers had in the past just done programs. We had some people come up. Marcos Kozlowski came up and he talked about how he had been a killer in sales training. He was selling the info space, but his back end, he fell behind on the back end, the follow-up, and he couldn't quite track success. He wasn't able to connect with his students. And he said that ruined my business for 10 years. And I didn't want to come back into the industry because I felt so bad about letting so many people down, that I spent 10 years building my back end so I could serve in a bigger, greater way. Hence the care, if you know, Alchemist Nation was built with that in mind first. We'd all been burned. We'd all spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on our coaching programs because we had wanted to learn so much. We wanted to get to that next level. Now we got to the next level, but we made a commitment when we built this that we were going to make sure that everything we built was so high return on investment. In fact, you've heard me say 10x return. If you spend money, it's a 10x return, because that's how we built it from the ground level up. Your increments are going to come from things that you do over the long term. Those little increments, of the stuff that pays you over and over and over, comes from long-term thinking. Those big surges, they also come from the foundation of your increments. If you didn't have increments, you couldn't go and spend the time to focus on a big surge. If you didn't spend that time learning and figuring out the market and building the deep relationships with contractors, with agents, with wholesalers, with sellers, you wouldn't have the opportunity to do the flip that in 3 to 6 months, which, you know, for some people, I know it seems like a long-term time frame, but in real estate, it's very small. It's a very short-term result. In 3 to 6 months, you get to have that 25 to 150,000 or 300,000, like we've made on some of our flips. That surge came from allowing yourself passive income, getting those increments so that you could take time away from your job or take time away from other projects so that you could focus on one that was going to be the game changer of the year. Hence, if you commit to one game changer every year, one big surge every year minimum, at least one surge. I know some of our millionaires are like, I can have surges every month. Let's do that for you. Commit to your surge every month. Now, I want to do an exercise because we do exercises every single week. The 52 weeks is designed to implement one of these powerful wealth strategies into your life so that you're committed and successful in this week. Implement it throughout your entire business. So the next week, we focus on the next wealth principle. At the end of the year, you have 52 new habits, results, principles instilled into your business. If you can't double your income and double your net worth with 52 solid wealth principles, it's because you weren't paying attention. Hence the camp, if you know, there are people who don't pay attention. The world is full of them. So I want to give a round of applause to everybody who's in here right now, paying attention, focusing, and getting ready to do this exercise together. So I want you to write down on the left side of the piece of paper, I want you to write down the last increment that you had, the last raise for yourself, whether it was a 5%, 10%, 20%, a little increment in your income. For landlords, this could have been a rent increase. It could have been a turned unit back on the market. It could have been a new acquisition. Me and Roger Andrews were talking about how he always makes money when he closes, closes cash flow day one. So some of us have that opportunity because of the way we invest. Some of us cash flow a year or two from now. Some of us, I was talking to Vinny Chopra, he's doing land, ground up buildings. He's not going to cash flow for 3 years. He can't cash flow on land. Well, that's being developed. Hence, if you understand, there are some different forms, but when it's hit 3 years from now, when those the assisted living he's working on hit, it's massive increments that stay going. It's almost like a surge. So I want you to write down the last increment you had, an increase that has been consistent for you. And right underneath, I want you to write down the last surge that you had. Last surge. I don't care if the surge was as small as you had a something like let's say you were one of our affiliates and you went and sold the summit. You sold a ticket to the summit and you got $500 or you got $150, whatever that was. It was a surge. It was an increase. Not repeatable passively, but it was just an increase that happened because you took action. So something along those lines could be a surge. Maybe it was something bigger, like a flip. You did a flip and you took home $100,000 or $25,000. Write this down. I want on the right side of it for you to write down, how can I get more? What are some ways that you could get more? What is a goal that you could set? If you did one flip that brought you 25, let's do one flip that brings you 50. I'm not a huge fan of volume. By the way, I was hanging out with the guys that do the volume this weekend, guys that close 60 deals a month, 20 deals a month, 20 flips a year, 100 flips a year. These are the numbers the guys I was hanging out with this weekend were talking about. And I had a conversation with a few of them. If I didn't share my stuff because we know we're networking. It's all about them, right? I didn't share too much about me. It was all about, what do you do? Who are you? What are your goals? How can I serve you? How can I get you to the next level? What are you looking to accomplish? What is your program? So that I can get them to put free courses on Alchemist Nation. Hands to camera, if you know, I got a bunch of people to dedicate courses this weekend. Yes, these are highly paid coaches, some of the best in the world, best in the country, in our industry. And I got many of them to commit to donating courses, which is cool. So these guys and gals, I said, look, I do one deal a year. I just make sure that deal is big enough to change my life, to get my results that I'm looking for. You can do 10 deals or you can do one deal. You want to make $1 million? Do 20 flips at $50,000. You want to make $1 million? Do 40 flips at $25,000 each. You want to make $1 million? Do one deal, buy it for $4 million, but it's got to be worth $5 million. Is that right? Buy a $5 million deal for $4 million. You make your money on the purchase. We agree. In real estate, we make our money on the purchase. And don't sell it. You don't have to pay any taxes. That money sits in your net worth. And if you recognize that's an easy way to make $1 million. It's a lot easier than 20 flips, 40 flips. Don't get me doing the math on wholesale deals. Woo! You got to do 200 wholesale deals to make $1 million. Come on, please. There are easier ways to do it. There are easier ways to become a millionaire. And that's what we teach. That's what we work on in the mentorship. Hands to the camera if you've already been through the mentorship. You've been through the mentorship. You've graduated. You're one of our successful students who's putting in offers, who's doing deals, building your business, increasing your increments and surges. So what I want you to do this week with this list, this paper that you've put together, I want you to commit to doing a deal or increasing your increments by double. I want you to look at what you put on the left side and do not double the volume, double the value. Not double the volume, double the value. So for example, if you sold a ticket to Be the Bank, which is coming up this weekend, Be the Bank's a $97 course. The affiliate fee is $50. Go and sell a ticket to the summit. The lowest value ticket summit for the summit is, I think, $250. That's $75. How would it's $250? So $175, $125. Help me out. Yeah, $125. Thank you. That's double. That's more than doubling what you've done. Hence, care if you recognize that's simple math. Sell a more valuable product. right? You don't have to increase your workload. I don't want you increasing your workload. If you're going to now for Melanie sells sandwiches. She can't double this value of her sandwiches, right? She owns, so we know she doesn't just sell sandwiches. She owns 3 Subways and she's locked down more Subways to buy this year. Melanie is one of our millionaires. She's the silent, quiet, but powerful woman that, will never jump on the camera and say stuff unless called upon. So she can't double her sandwiches, but what she can do is double how many sandwiches she's selling by acquiring another asset, by acquiring more stores. We're catching this? Awesome. So Be the Bank, so everybody knows, is a training designed for passive income. It's designed to increase your increments. It may not be surges right away, but it's designed to increase your increments, how to take your money and get your money working for you. Hands to camera if you have friends and family who have money that's not working for them. How many people? Yes, we got people who have money in their 401ks, money in their bank accounts. Hands to camera if you've been a victim of having money in your bank not doing something for you. Yes, hands to camera if you've been a victim of having money in your 401k and you were like, I don't know what it does. I don't know if it's making money or going down or going sideways. It might. We can untap that cash and put it into real estate deals with people we know, like, and trust. And I'm going to talk about the secrets to investing passively in real estate this next week on Be the Bank, April 16th. So for everybody on Facebook, you can go to bethebank.alchemistnation.com and register. Please don't drop any links on my Facebook profile. For everybody who is an affiliate, please direct message your friends and family. But links, turn the posts down. This is a pro tip, by the way. Again, Chris Crone talked about it this weekend. No links on Facebook, no links on most of your social media. If you want to put a link to something, put it in your bio. Be so valuable in your content creation that people want to go to your bio and say, what is this person doing? Hands to the camera if you can commit to being so valuable to other people that they want to find out what you're doing, how to connect with you more. Awesome. So bethebank.com/bethebank.alchemistnation.com. Thank you, Ron, for fixing that. And you can get access to the event. Now, if you're one of our mentorship members, hands to the camera if you're a mentorship member. Awesome. I'm going to give you something special for your friends and your family members. Go to walteramarillo.com/partner and register as an affiliate. When you register as an affiliate, and by the way, pro tip to our affiliates, you can buy your own programs on your own tickets, on your own affiliate links. So if you want to save a little cash, you can use your affiliate links. Hands to the camera if you know that's a pro tip. Some of you already figured it out. I learned it from Amy McMurray, actually. Amy went and she used her affiliate link to buy a course. I was like, dude, that's a genius reason to be an affiliate. If for nothing else, just go and buy the program. You're buying them anyway, get a discount, get a deal, right? Save some money. But also send that affiliate link to your friends and family members, and we're going to send you a check because we appreciate everybody who's helping us build our mission of 100 millionaires, inspired to build 100 millionaires. The more people that we can teach how to passively invest, how to grow their income in increments and surges. By the way, I teach these principles so that I can leverage them myself. I teach them because they're going to be valuable to you, but you can also teach them so they can be valuable to others. This week, I would put the challenge out to share a video, to share a conversation with somebody about increasing their income in increments and surges, and bring them to Be the Bank. Now, charge them something. If you don't charge them something, there's a good chance they won't show up or take it seriously. And if you really care about people, make sure that they commit. Make sure that they put some money in, skin in the game. The bank won't lend to you without skin in the game. Hands to camera if that's true. They want to see skin in the game. It's the same thing. You're inviting somebody to a $97 course to see if they're serious. That's it. It's going to be 4 hours. We're going to talk about how to passively invest. We're going to talk about how to evaluate deals. More importantly, how to evaluate the operator, because the operator is 70% of the deal, right? The deal is only 30%. The operator could mess up 10 different ways and make it not work. On the other side of it, I'll talk about this next week. The operator, if the deal is bad, can make the deal work 10 different ways as well, by jumping in, figuring things out, reconnecting, sweetening the deal. Hands to camera if you've ever seen a deal go sideways, you turned it around. Yes. The top investors know there's no such thing as a bad deal, only a bad operator. You can turn things around if you do it the right way. We're going to talk about that and Be the Bank, how to evaluate whether somebody is a good partner or a great partner, whether they're an average human being or an alchemist, somebody who can take any deal and turn it into gold. People in this community have been trained to become alchemists, to see the opportunities within the opportunities. That's why our profit margins are higher than every other community. It's because we focus on acquiring at a good deal. We focus on how to improve the deal. And we're constantly learning and re-engaging and checking with other people to sweeten the deal. Hands camera, if you like to sweeten the deal, make a little more. Awesome. It's a skill. It's a talent. It's from staying relevant. It's from connecting with people who are in the deals, from a community that is still active, doing things. Speaking of education and bringing ourselves to the next level, one more time, active. I'll do a call to action. Register now for Be the Bank. Go to bethebank.com, Alchemist Nation, bethebank.alchemistnation.com. Register now. Take action so that you can schedule yourself to be there next week. So I know how many people are coming. It's a lot easier if you schedule now. So I know how many people are going to be there. So I can prepare our presentation for the right amount of people. Michael Shine, he is the holistic attorney. He is also the keeper of the books. He's a legend. He's a multi-millionaire. He's a passive investor. He invests in other people's deals like myself and some of our other coaches. Michael Shine, can you bring us this week's book of the week? Let's give him a round of applause.
Woohoo! All right. I've got the book of the week, and it is the 12-week year. This book is sort of, I don't know if you'd call it mind-blowing, but it really shifts your brain in a certain way. Most people, when they do their planning and plan out, they plan in years. You know, they say in January, I'll do this, and they make all their plans. But when I read this book, it's a quick read. But Brian Moran talks about making your year a 12-week year instead of 12-month year, and that makes every single day much more valuable. You can't, like, if you say you're going to do 12 months of planning, you sort of like in January say, well, I'll do this, that, and then February rolls around, and the next thing you know, it's like November, and you're like, shit, I didn't do anything, right? But when you have the 12-week year, everything has to be done. Like if you start in January, all your plans have to be done by March 31st. And that makes it so that you crush it. And it's perfect for this subject today because it makes for surges, because you're sitting there in January and holy cow, that when you say, for example, in this community, say, I'm going to get a 3-family, or I'm going to get 4-family. How amazing is that if you crush that goal in 3 months, instead of saying, well, this year I'll get 1. That's like four apartment buildings that you get in 1 year if you use the 12-week year. They presented this to a bunch of insurance companies. Fortune 500 insurance companies used it, and they noticed that all the insurance people started crushing their goals, just absolutely making those surges. So I just highly recommend this. This book is it's another one with great stories in there, but it's motivating. But it just, any goal you want, it'll make that goal come a lot faster. You'll be surging to the finish line. Boom, 12-week year. Get it, read it, listen to it, love it. I am out.
Let's give Michael Shine a round of applause. He is the keeper of the books and one of our celebrity coaches. Speaking of, our celebrity coaches have all written books, podcasts. They've been on webinars. They've been on stages. They've shared tons of information. And Mike is taking it to the next level. He just released his training course on partnerships on alchemistnation.com for free. And his partnership book is coming out. So make sure that you've had the opportunity to go through the course so that you'll be prepared for the book. Partnerships are how we leverage more income. They're how we make more. It's how we increase without doing more. Hands to camera, if you want to make more money, do less work. Yes, the secret is partnerships. Go to alchemistnation.com, get the power of partnerships today for free, and go through the course. Get some value in your life. I want to thank each and every one of you who, I know some of you have to jump off. That's okay. For everybody who stays on every week and hangs out with us, this is your opportunity to ask questions, to take it to the next level, to open up. So I want to ask the team to bring everybody who's in the attendees area into the main room right now. And for everybody who's wearing one of our shirts, throw the shirts up to the camera. 100 millionaires, mission to millions, names on deeds. Generate income. The point is not to work, it's to generate income. This year, we are a force. We are a movement. We are a team of wealth builders. Each one of us is building wealth. Each one of you is focused on not just yourself, but the idea of serving others and building up their wealth. 100 millionaires inspired to build 100 millionaires. This weekend, I collected our 100 influencers, 100 real estate investors. I set the target and I said, at the end of this year, I'll have 100 courses built by the top coaches and trainers in our space on Alchemist Nation. Hands to camera if you hold me to this commitment. Hands to camera if you know I will do it. Yes, I'm committed to your community, to this community, and to your personal development, your growth. What I'm going to ask from each one of you is to commit to doing the absolute most you can with a smile on your face, with positivity in your step, with gratitude and thankfulness and faith that you are becoming that high net worth individual that you desire to be, that accredited investor or multiple millionaire, that millionaire if it's your first, or hundredaire if it's your first, if you're looking to get that first 100,000. Hands together if you know the first million is a bitch, but the second million is inevitable. Give yourselves a round of applause, everybody who's been on here committed to their growth. I love and appreciate you. We're going to open up to questions. I'm going to ask the celebrity coaches to unmute their mics and share their valuable information on every one of the questions that comes through, one coach at a time to the questions. So let's open up to questions. Let me pause this. Let me stop the recording and start the recording. We're going to open up to questions. First to unmute your mic is the first to get a question answered. I know, Sharon, you wanted a question delivered to the coaches. Go ahead. Let's give Sharon Mendes a round of applause for jumping in. By the way, one more qualifier before you go, Sharon. If you don't ask a question, you've missed out on a major opportunity, whether you know it or not. Go ahead, Sharon.
Okay. I've been really busy this week with properties because what's on my mind is increasing my net worth. So that's the number one goal. So I've been looking at multifamily units, New Bedford and Attleboro. And I have a couple. I have a fabulous agent, but I'm also being hit with questions, which is reverse from what we're supposed to. It's like, I want to see what I want. And then it's like, well, you have to be qualified. You have to have this all up front first before you can even put in an offer. So correct me if I'm wrong. If I put in an offer, do I have to be pre-qualified before I do that? Yes or no?
Is this residential or commercial?
It's a 3-family. These are 3 families.
Excellent. Mitch Jorsky, you're up.
Why am I up?
Yeah, you're the king of evaluating deals.
I guess I still do that. My crypto mistress distracts me. Yes and no. If you're buying a primary home, then probably yes. If you're not, I mean, they're going to still want it, but I mean, you just got to show proof of funds. Like, it's so easy. There's so many sites. Darina's got one where you can go and just literally like get a proof of funds letter, like in minutes.
Okay.
In the end, that's what they're looking for because the market's hot as hell. So they basically want to make sure that A, you can actually afford what it is that you're trying to buy, and B, that you can provide those proof of funds. So I don't know if you really need to go get like, pre-approved and stuff. If you know you can get the money, just get any kind of proof of funds letter. So
Okay.
there's resources for that.
Okay. So I have a couple more. So I have this one property that I love.
Let's give Mitch Jorsky a round of applause. Great answer, brother. I know Mitch is our celebrity coach on crypto and wrote the book Scaredy Cat Guide to Knowing What the Heck Bitcoin Is. So unfortunately, he also wrote the book Scaredy Cat Guides in Investing in Real Estate. So he's in a catch-22. Go ahead, Sharon. What's your next question?
Okay. So with, say, this first property that I'm looking at, and right now the issue is it is a seller's market. So almost all of the prices are really pretty inflated. I was, with some of my training, is what I call the 1% rule. That's how it was introduced to me. Not everybody seems to understand what that is, but it goes with whatever the price is, the rent that you're getting has to be at least 1% coming in order to be interesting.
That is correct. And most investors understand the 1% rule. Most real estate agents don't understand the 1% rule. So you don't have to explain it to them. Just give them your offer. Just let them know this is what I want, and put it in. Submit it, please.
So the property that I'm looking at is well below what the average rental prices are by $200 to $300 less than what everybody else is making.
Okay.
And so if I increase the rent, then it may hit, because they're looking at, let's say, around 500,000-600,000 is what they're looking for with these three families. And
Okay.
so question one, if we have long-term tenants in there and they're paying $800, to have a new landlord come in and up it to 1,000 or 1,500, does that create a problem for them, or is that a problem for me? If you know what I'm saying.
I don't see the problem. What is, so can you reframe that question differently?
So
Okay.
wait, hold on, Walter. I think I picked it up. So
Go ahead.
Sharon, and forgive me because I'm about to go New York mode on you. So step one, you're overthinking everything.
Okay.
So just that's literally the overarching answer to all of this. Step two, what you just described is called every single real estate deal I do. Like right now, in fact, right now where you find value is literally buying properties where the landlord has owned it for a decade, has raised rent like once. So the tenants are way under market. And it's like, all right, yeah, I'm buying a problem, so to speak, but I'm also buying an opportunity. And that's where you have to decide what kind of investor you are. Because like case in point, me and my partner, we're like the nicest guys ever, like to the point where it costs us money. But we've also come to realize this is also a business. So yes, we don't want to quote unquote push people out of their homes. But if market rent is $1,300 and they're paying $700, sorry, not sorry, you're getting a large rent increase, especially when I'm putting capital improvements into this property. So when you are looking at a property like this, if the rents are below market, your game plan probably needs to be, all right, if I raise rents to market, then this deal makes sense. So you have to be willing to do that. And the key is, all right, are there leases in place? How much time is left on those leases? Are they tenant at will? If they are, that's even better. Or option C, can they deliver the property with some vacant units, which always makes life way easier. So that's kind of how you want to look at it. But in the end, the market we're in right now, you have to kind of create good deals, because there's no just like go to MLS and, oh, these numbers work. Like it's very rare, especially in like Northeast New England. Maybe you go to the Midwest, you can find that, but that's kind of the way you need to approach it. And that's an opportunity that I've personally been looking for over the last like 1 to 2 years, where it's like, all right, my value add is knowing that the rents are below market and the deferred maintenance that's there is not stuff that's going to cost me a fortune. It's stuff that I can get done relatively inexpensively. So it's not going to ruin my numbers. So at least, that's my opinion. Do with it what you'd like.
I love that. And there's another question in the chat, kind of on the same process. How do you raise rents on a single family when you have great tenants? I'll let any one of the coaches take this. Who wants it?
Yeah, I think what Mitch was saying is really exactly it. And, I jumped in before Mike Shine, but Mike.
I see your hand, Mike. Okay, go ahead, Mitch. Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
Yeah,
Good.
what I think is going on is we're worrying more about what they're going to think of us instead of the numbers. And so the reality is every person that gets into a business has to realize that they're running a business. And yes, it's personal. Don't buy into this idea that it's not personal. Yes, it's personal. But the fact of the matter is the money they're paying you is so that they get the value. We keep forgetting about value and go right to dollars. Forget about the dollars. Think about the value, because Sharon, the people that are living in the place that you're thinking of buying are living in a shithole if they're paying that low rent. What you're going to do is you're going to buy it, you're going to do tenant improvements, and that's why you're raising rent. And then you're going to keep it nice so that they have a nice place to live. That's value. But you start thinking about, oh no, what are they going to think of me? Who cares what they think of you? It's none of your business.
It's not your business, Sharon. Right? It's not, we're not saying it's none of the tenants, but it's not your business to worry about what they think. That's their job. Your job is to be a decent human being and do what's best for them and the property, which does include increasing rents because you have more money to invest. Go ahead,
I
Mike.
want to say one more thing. I want to say one more thing, and then I'm going to let Mike Shine take it because, well, here's the thing. This is really emotional stuff. This is mind stuff. And a lot of people don't have their emotions where they need to be to do these businesses. They don't have their mindset where they need to be. And so their action is all over the place and screwy. They start, they stop, they jump in, they stop, they run away. And that's what's going on here is you're quitting on yourself. And what happens is you actually are just sitting there going back and forth with things. You got to get some kind of coach that's going to help you move forward through that fear. Because, you know, you can come in here every week and ask a question and we'll give you an answer, but you're not working with a coach. This is accountability. Coaching is actually helping you move forward, understanding why you're not moving forward and helping you to start doing it more. And so it doesn't matter if it's a single family, if it's a 3-family, if it's a freaking 30-unit thing. It doesn't matter if it's a business that's a service industry or a product. You are your problem.
Always.
You need to start working with a coach as well as a mentor to be able to start moving forward. Does this make sense?
And I don't want to say the word need. It is strongly suggested that you find 3 coaches, 2 mentors, and a mastermind. And can we mute whoever's mic is on? So,
And only do this if you want to grow.
Yeah,
If you don't want to
only
grow,
if
then
you wanna
forget
grow.
about it. Yeah.
this is at the sacrifice of staying right where you are. So the sacrifice of mediocrity. If you want to grow, and this is not just to Sharon, this is for everybody on the call. If you want to grow, 3 coaches, 2 mentors, and a mastermind. This is the formula that was delivered to me about 7 years ago. And the idea behind this is you want coaches who are going to develop in your income space, in your net worth space, and in your mind space so that you can do the things that take you to the next level. Can we mute Sandra, please? Her mic is still going. Excellent. I'm going to ask everybody to mute their mics unless you're directly asking a question, which we're focused on Sharon right now. So the second one is 2 mentors, a local mentor in your market and an external mentor outside of your market, because the local mentor is going to know the prices of rents. They're going to know the city. They're going to know, people connections that can hook you up with contractors and where things are, how to do things locally, but they're never going to give you deals. They're never going to show you how to find more deals, how to get the off market stuff. They may connect you with their lenders, but they may not connect you with their private money lenders. So there's going to be things outside of the local market that you need from another mentor who's got nothing to lose by teaching you how to raise private capital or teaching you how to find off-market deals. They don't see you as competition. Hands to camera for recognizing the value of this. The third one, the secret one, this is the most powerful one and the most expensive in many cases, is the mastermind. That's what I paid for this weekend, was to be in a mastermind of coaches who were doing the same thing that I do. How do we serve more? How do we make sure our students move and take action in their lives? How do we ensure the results that they're asking us for? That's what we did as a group. Imagine 150 of the best coaches, influencers, and trainers in the room bouncing ideas, sharing their knowledge, sharing their skills. Well, the mastermind is the same thing with real estate investing. You're going to be in a room full of people who know what they're doing, who want to share their skill that they have so much of with you because you're sharing another skill with them that maybe they lack. And the mastermind is, Napoleon Hill pointed it out. So very powerful. And the coaches, the difference between coaches and mentors, hence, can't you like to know the difference? as you're going through this journey. A coach will get you what you want, what you say you want. A mentor will get you what they have gotten. So a coach will get you what you tell them they want. Be careful with what you ask for. The coach will get you to get it, right? This is how it works. You tell a coach what you want. The coach will do everything in their power to move you in that direction. They will pull obstacles out, like Terry talks about, pull trash off the tracks. Like Doug talks about, he's going to put you on stage. He's going to teach you how to speak clearly and communicate from the heart. Our celebrity coaches are designed and trained. I brought experts in. I brought celebrities in so that they can be the person to show you the light that they've already gotten in their lives. Mentors get you what they want. That's why we choose multiple different mentors. That's why there's mentors in here who are in certain markets, or mentors who are in certain niches. Choose wisely, but don't be afraid to jump around. Leverage others, continue growing up, continue using other mentors, other coaches, other masterminds. I've been dozens of masterminds over the years. It's been huge value to me, huge value. Then the live events network. So there's my rant. Michael Shine, you had an answer for Sharon as well.
So we recently bought a 12 unit, and the rents at that place were well below market. And that landlord, he kept it well below market, but at the same time, he also didn't do any maintenance. You know, one of the apartments actually had a rope that was hanging over a pipe in the bathroom that was holding the flapper for the toilet. So, and the poor tenant was sitting there, would have to pull on this rope to get the toilet. So we went in there, and some of the people, we actually raised their rent even $400 and $500. But at the same time that we spoke to them, we said, yes, we're moving up to market rents. But at the same time, please give us a list of everything you want improved, because we're going to make it so that this place is livable, is a place that you love to live in. And to a tenant, they were all happy with it. There was one that said, well, I can't afford it, moved out. But the rest of them were like, yeah, I get it. We've been below market for a long time. And I would rather live in a nicer place that's more improved. So there is a little give and take there. But I really feel like what Terry said, it's all mindset. It's all, you're bringing up all this stuff in your head about them. Let them be adults, put their pants, the tenants, they can make their own decisions. You just go in, like Kim Rodriguez said, business decision, you make your decision, and they, as adults, make their decision, and it works out for everybody. So that's
Can I quick add, Mike, to that? And also there's Lee that had asked the question around this as well, is David Dweck, my mentor in real estate around here, is like, he's very clear on, look, these are not your friends. You've got to be friendly and fair, but they are not your friends. It's a business arrangement. And the truth is that they also know that. Like, they may treat you nice, and it's not like all my properties, I always have just below market. So they feel like they're getting a deal. So when I raise it, they also know, well, even if I go somewhere else, I'm going to pay more anyway. So they're happy about just being a little below, not a lot, just enough to make it go, okay, you know, my phone bill is not as painful, or cable or whatever. And then also I take a position of like, don't come to me with the little crappy stuff. Own it, take care of it like yourself, like it's yours. And I won't raise the rent to market, because I won't need to do that. Because when, you know, you have a leaky faucet, you just call a plumber and get it done yourself, because it's going to cost you $100. Otherwise, I'm going to raise your rent $100 every month. And that mindset, then they're really grateful, because when you do raise rent and you keep it a little under, like, oh man, I know if I went somewhere else, I'd be charging, you know, twice as much, the cost of moving, all of that. So you treat them with respect, friendly and fair, but we have to remember, they're not our friends. These are business arrangements, even if they are great tenants. What makes them great is they pay on time.
That's right. That's right. Let's give Doug a round of applause. I see your hand rolling. Let us, I want to move on to a different question. I'd like to get off the tenants and raising rents, because it's it's one that we could just go down the rabbit hole many times.
Can I just ask one last thing? And this
Absolutely.
has nothing to do with the tenants because it's like I'm of split mind. One was those questions about what ifs, then the other one, and because I'm also being hit with what I would consider the traditional, you're going to do what? You're looking to buy property. So that I'm actually ignoring because they don't understand the world that I'm in. But the other question is, because there's more than one property I'm looking at, and then I'm talking about the money, and then also it's basically OPM. I do have some cash, but it's not wise for me to put in all of my own cash. So what should I do other than coming here saying, I'm looking to move forward? I also know there's Frank. I already sent a message to him that I'm going to be doing some stuff, but what would you recommend? More than one property, and where do I go for that?
Yes, Alchemist Nation, Frank is a great resource for financing. Michael Shine, I see your hand, brother.
Yeah, so networking, your network is your net worth. You should be out there talking before this point, but just talking to everybody. You'd be amazed at how opportunities, when you focus on where your focus goes, your energy flows. So as soon as you start focusing on getting a partner for that 25 or 30% down, people will come into your life in rapid succession within minutes, sometimes days, and you will find someone. It's just get that energy flow, focus towards that, and you will see so many opportunities will come up. I've seen it personally. So yeah.
Let's give Michael Shine a round of applause. I love that. The truth to all of this raising capital thing, I don't have the money, OPM, is that you do have the money. You just haven't identified who you're going to pay, right? Who you're going to make wealthier, who you're going to add value to. I was talking to Brant Phillips, who wrote the book, Private Money Lending, the Private Money Playbook, and this weekend. And he and I were just talking about the value we add to investors. I asked him, why do you syndicate? Because he owns 200 units himself, at like him and his wife, and he's doing these syndication deals. And I asked him, what's the point? Why syndicate when you could just continue buying real estate yourself? And he said, it's because I have a community of investors who ask me to invest with them. They want to invest with them. So I'm spreading the opportunity across my investors so that they can also be a part of the deal. I really do the deals because I want to do bigger deals, but I also have people who want to invest with me. So an affirmation to say is that there are people out there who want to invest with me and they are coming to me. I'm attracting people who want to get a return on investment through real estate, who trust me to do the project because I'm proven. I've done other deals. I have a great deal, a great opportunity, and just start communicating with people and finding the people who do have the problem of too much money and not enough time. Enough time to learn real estate, enough time to go and find the deals. They don't have a deal, but they have you. They have the relationship. And start focusing on serving those people. Look at it as serving so more than what they're giving you, because you are going to be friends with them. You're going to build a relationship with them. You're going to be sharing your wealth with them, your opportunity with them. And all they're doing is bringing their money. So see that as the truth of it and start hunting and know that it's your moral, ethical duty to find them. Because if you don't, they're missing out on an opportunity to invest in your deal.
So
is this making sense?
Yes, it makes sense. One of the things maybe I missed it, but I thought that the question was more not around where do I find the money as much or who can put in money, but do I go after one deal or do I go after more or one property or more than one property? And if that's the question, the answer is you go after all the properties that fit what you're looking for. Because when you sit there and try to hit one at a time, you're going to spend years and years and years getting a first property. Walter and I have a friend, I talk about this all the time, is a very good example. This guy Marty was just locked on this property for 3 years. He would come back to our mastermind and talk about this one property, and if he can just lock it down, he's going to be so happy and everything's going to work out. And it's like, you're never getting that property. Start putting your offers on in everything Don't worry about what the answer is. This goes back to the same thing I was talking about before. You don't want to think about what they're thinking or what they're going to do. You want to look at your action. When you focus on your action and what you're doing, the deals that are going to work are going to come to you, and then you worry about second step money, third step who's going to live there or whatever. That shit doesn't matter. You're an offer machine. An investor is an offer machine. That's all you're doing.
Awesome. Let's give our coaches and Sharon a round of applause. Let's open up to more questions. Roland, I see your hand up, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is not really a question. This is just a testimonial of Dr. Terry. We had a call not yesterday, this past week, I believe, and we had a great conversation. He gave some good feedback, and he is going to be connecting me with someone from his sphere of influence later on down the road. So I just wanted to come on here and just add some value and provide a good testimonial, Dr. Terry, and thank you for taking the time to speak with me.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. It was fun talking.
Let's give Roland Charles a round of applause. Testimonials are the highest form of flattery. They're the highest form of thankfulness to a coach, a trainer, to a business owner, to anybody who served you in the past. By the way, it's also a form of marketing, right? Roland was just on a call with over 1,000 viewers, and by saying and delivering value, his company is now, on our feed. So being somebody who's good at testimonials. In fact, I was practicing my skill at testimonials this weekend, giving testimonials to my friends at the event who ran it and supported it. Be the person who gives a great testimonial. You might get used in future materials. And let's give Dr. Terry Wager a round of applause for all of the value he delivers, and all of our coaches, all of our celebrity coaches who are paying it forward, supporting each other and supporting you. Let's open up to questions. First unmute goes.
I don't want to jump in front of Kevin.
Go ahead, Julie.
Ladies first.
Did I hit that mute button?
Hell yeah. Go ahead.
Speaking of testimonials, and this might help if I shared mine to some of the people like Sharon that are trying to figure out that way of getting their foot in the door. And back when I first joined the community, the first piece of real estate was that we bought. I helped my son buy, and the community helped my son buy. It was a 2-family, and I made him, borrow the money from another family member that had the money for the down payment. And then I made him liquidate his assets to pay the loan back because he was 28. So he needed that lesson that, it's not a good idea not to have at least 10,000, saved up in life. So he liquidated a couple of assets and got the family member paid back. And now he has a 2-family property, which Mike Shine closed on and made a big impression on my son. He talks about Mike Shine to this day. And he says, Mike Shine told me I need to buy one property per year. So now he's looking at pulling out the equity in that 2-family to roll it into the next property. And he literally makes sure he mentions Mike Shine gave him that nugget. And he really, it stuck, Mike. So thank you. This community is awesome. It's made a huge impact on my whole family. So thank you guys. I love you.
Let's give Julie Bradley a round of applause. She is absolutely amazing, crushing it. And she's also our bookkeeper.
Walter, that's why I'm here. Like when somebody in this community says something about me like that, that's why I'm here every Saturday. So thank you, Julie. Appreciate it.
Awesome. It's true. Hey, we'll work for testimonials. Go ahead, Kevin. You're up, brother.
So I'm just going to start off with a statement, right, where it's really not about the $1 million or the millionaires, right? It's really about the person that you have to become in order to even attract someone that is, willing to help. So just being here, yes, I understand it. It's a great tool. It's a great resource, but being active in here and really just adding value to the community is where you'll see yourself take other avenues into, success and whatever you want to do. But anyway, I wanted to get a question for you guys was,
And you, by
Activity-
the way, Kevin, are a perfect example of that. You now run the wholesaling boot camp every Wednesday night. And that's because you stepped up and you're changing people's lives, but it's also generated leads for you. It's generated business for you. So absolutely, absolutely a phenomenal job and example of paying it forward and serving. Go ahead. What's your question, brother?
So activity versus productivity. Where do you see the signs of just doing activity and not really being as productive as you would like? You know what I mean? Like, what are the first tell signs? Or
That I love that question. I'm gonna cut it right there, because the simple answer is, if you're not monitoring your results, you don't know. You got to look at your results, because your results dictate whether you're just doing activity or whether you're productive. And so
I want to throw in that Dr. Terry Wager created a course on Alchemist Nation called Goals. It's a goals course on Alchemist Nation. I'd strongly suggest everybody who's listening go and take that course, because it does talk about setting goals, tracking your goals, getting yourself to see the results. Go ahead, Terry. I know there's more.
And stretching your goals, because the fact of the matter is most of us, especially when we get in the beginning of it, and I mean, I'm no different than anyone else. Set a goal, freak out, then reduce the goal, and okay, and we want to stretch our goals, but we don't want to create this thing that's too overwhelming and we don't take action around. And so that's a goals thing. Go check it out. It's pretty good. You know, and I think Doug has a goals in there, and we're very, very similar in that. So check out.
No, Doug created a networking training. It's a 3-video networking training. Phenomenal.
Yeah. So there's some stuff in there, but I mean, and I'm going to say that going in and looking at those courses and taking in that information, that's an information product. It is not coaching. And
true.
so if you find yourself not moving forward because you've got all the information products, and believe me, I have a shit ton. I have a warehouse full of information products, but I have coaches to help me to implement that stuff to move forward. And so think about if I'm in this idea where Kevin's talking about with this activity, but I'm not feeling productive and I'm not seeing the results, then I need a coach. And it doesn't have to be Doug. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be somebody here, but you got to get a coach. And so,
good. I was going to add, what the coach is going to also help you do is sometimes the activities we're doing are not even related to the productivity. We haven't even gotten a clear line to go, okay, what are the results I'm looking for to know whether or not these activities are appropriate? And sometimes we do activities to feel good, but they're not necessarily the ones that are going to take us to the goal. Sorry to interrupt you, Terry, but
no, that's exactly where I'm going. Is like many of our activities, we tell ourselves, you know, I got a book called Quit Taking Your Own Bad Advice. We tell ourselves we got to do this stuff in order to do that stuff. And the biggest place that you see this, there you go. Thank you, Mike Shine, keeper of the books. He's got my book. And Mitch has it too. Here's the thing, you know, it's funny. All the coaches have each other's books. Interesting point. But when we're looking at actually getting the results we want, we got to stop doing the back end stuff as much as we are. And we have to start doing the front end stuff, sales. We have to actually start talking to people. We actually have to start doing this stuff. And what people do is they really work to make all of the back end of their business work really good. And they think that they're trying to create systems and processes that is going to make things smoother once I start taking action. And what they're doing is they're procrastinating and hesitating on going out and getting rejected because they've got rejection on their mind and they don't know it. And so Walter talks a lot about the back end of his business, but he's out there in front of business talking to people all of the time, and he's got a team doing the back end. And so if you find yourself doing a lot of the back end stuff, building a website, looking at URL names, doing, you know, writing or doing any journaling about what you're going to do when you make $1 million, great. Do that when it's income, or do that when it's not income producing activity time. Do it in the off hours. But when it's the hours during the day that you're looking for, be out there connecting with other people. And if you don't find yourself productive, creating the income you're looking for, that's how I define productive. Is I'm making my monthly numbers that I need to grow my business, because the only number that matters is the number coming in to fuel your business. If you're not hitting that, you're in activity, not productivity.
Kevin, is that helpful? Because I think the question is valuable for everybody on the call. Hands to the camera if you're getting value from Kevin's question. How do we track our effectiveness? I actually just started reading a book on my way back from the event. I drove back. The book is called Effortless. And in this book, he's talking about how we can get overwhelmed. Kevin does wholesaling. He does, flipping and wholesaling. So he's doing a lot of activity. Kevin's a beast. He's a machine, man. He cold calls, he has conversations, he converts, he's going on appointments. And we can get super busy doing the right activities, but not have the right systems in place so that we can do higher leveraged pieces of that same level of activities. We want those things done, but we don't always want to be part of the system and doing the system. Ron and I take time each week to build on the business versus in the business. When I'm speaking, when I'm here on stage, or when I'm here in a Zoom or video like this, I am in the business. I am operating. I am servicing in an active manner. When I'm outside having a conversation with Ron with how do we scale this? How do we get this in front of more people? My time becomes more highly leveraged. I'm still spending the same time every Saturday, but now there's 700 people who are looking, or 1,000 or 1,500 people who see these videos afterwards. Hands to camera if that's valuable, if it makes sense that you can do the same activity, the high leveraged activity, Kevin, which is your voice, it's your scripts, it's your energy, it's your system, it's your process, it's the principles behind what you do. But then putting it into the hands of other people now allows leverage for you to be far more effective.
The answers are great, and that's why I kind of brought it here. I knew it was going to spark a little, ignite a nice little topic for us. But at the same time, Walter, right? Talent and results and all of that, right? You really can't deny the hard work. I see you in that dungeon, in that layer of yours, still putting in work and filming webinars, right? Like putting in that work day to day, every day, right? So, it's a little bit of that. You're right. And then the activity again, versus productivity, on where I can leverage, most activity and just focus on the productive,
Absolutely. And you may want to look into creating a training course, Kevin, a training course on wholesalers to do what you do, follow your systems, follow your processes, and start teaching. We teach what we want more of. And since you are an expert in your activities in your business, if you want people to do things the way you do them, teach it. You can charge for that, or you can put it up for free and then pay people on the back end, right? So if somebody pays for a course, you should be willing to partner with them. If they've gone through the process, they've done the right things, they're doing things your way, your system, that's a good opportunity to bring them onto your team, because now they were going to want to work with you because you served them, you showed them in the first place, and they're going to do things the way you train them how to do things. So teaching is a great way to expand the amount of people on your mission doing what you're doing.
So I'll throw out a little tactical, simple process that we do when especially when we're in projects or something like that has to get done, that has productivity matched to it. We're writing a chapter right now for another book, and so when we're doing
every 18 months, Terry.
But this is just a chapter. It's got to be done in about 2 weeks, and so we wrote the first draft in 2 days. And got some great feedback from our writing coach. And we have it's not Jen, but we would definitely use Jen if we weren't working with this coach already, but we've been working with him for 3 years. But we have turnaround times of a week or two. And so when we're doing that, the productivity now isn't money, it's a tangible thing. And so what we do is we have all kinds of, we have all kinds of different things that we have to do. We have to see clients, we have to make phone calls, we have to do reach outs, we have networking, we have all of these things. And so what we do is we actually write down what we're doing. Christine was doing it actually, I think earlier this morning. she was sitting next to me off camera and writing down a list of the things that we have to do this weekend. Then we prioritize what is absolutely necessary in order to hit the goals that we have. Then what we would like to do once we get the necessary done. And then after that, and we get what we'd like to do done, what if we're finished with all of those things is going to be the other things that maybe fall to next week or something like that. And sometimes those things that come in third, they just don't get done. We don't beat ourselves up about it because we're focusing on those priority items. And so it's really a priority thing, not a time management thing.
Awesome. Let's give all of our celebrity coaches a round of applause and Kevin Pereira a round of applause for a great question. We'll stick on for maybe 3 more minutes. We'll take one more question before we jump off. And for everybody who knows they're going to be the bank, I'm dropping the link in the chat right now. Let us know that you're going by clicking the link and registering so that Darina can prepare for all the automations. Make sure everybody knows how to get there. Make sure our resources are available to everybody. Go ahead. Oh, this is your chance to open up one more question before we jump off. You got celebrity coaches, millionaires, multimillionaires on the call. This is your opportunity to share your question.
Good morning. I have a question.
Let's give Deborah a round of applause. Deborah, I'm not applauding you for your lighting situation, though.
I know it's so bad in here. It's so crazy because my windows are so open and normally it's so much brightness in here. So I don't know what we got going on this morning, but that's okay. Sometimes things from the dark comes to the light. So I'm the light right now. So just look at me as the light, even though you see me in the dark. How about that?
I love the mindset shift. Positivity breeds positivity.
Hey.
So great. Go ahead. What is your question, Deborah?
I have a question. Like I'm a wholesaler. I've been doing it now for almost a year. I haven't sold any properties yet to flip, but everybody keep giving me property to flip. But then they asked me that one question. Are you a realtor? Are you a licensed agent? I'm not one, but I'm in process now in school of becoming one through Gold Coast. So that's why I was wondering. So that's why I went back to school, because I haven't over a year, I haven't did a flip yet. Like I have a few flips, that people give to me or whatever, but it's never, as soon as I get in a conversation, they'll be like, are you a realtor? Are you an agent? And I go, no, I never really say I'm a wholesaler. I like to just say, me and my business partner, like to say we're investors. Even though we haven't invested in anything, we're manifesting it to bring it to light. So how do I get around from that? Well, now I'm going to have my license soon when I pass the test, hopefully by the beginning of May. But in the meanwhile, like I have a few properties there for sale, but every time like I do the calls, I do everything I have to do, but I'm just not closing no deal.
All right. So one of the first things is you don't believe yourself. You absolutely do not believe yourself, and you're trying to get a property instead of I'm an investor. You are an investor. Just because you haven't spent money on a property because you haven't closed a deal doesn't mean you're not an investor, because you invest a lot of time in doing the shit.
Right.
So the reality is you invest your time in growing yourself. You invest your time in trying to learn this. You invest your time in reaching out to people. And so you're an investor. You're just actually kind of making bad investments right now, because what you're doing is you're investing in telling yourself that you're not going to be able to do this. You can't do this. You got a lot of head stuff going on. I did put the link to my book in there, and I would suggest reading that as a first step if you don't have the money to jump into coaching. But the reality is you are talking yourself out of every deal. You're calling scared. You're looking at trying to get instead of connecting with people. And here's the unfortunate thing for all of us. When we're in that scared place, we don't even know it, because we're so focused on trying to do it and trying to get it working that we don't realize we're in a scared place, hoping it'll work. And hope is a bad plan. And hope is actually an activity that we do inside of our head when we're scared to death and not admitting it. You got to admit that there's fear. And the fear is because you don't know something. Grant Cardone talks about this too. When you're getting no's, it's because you don't know something. And so what you want to do is you want to start educating yourself around where you're making your mistakes. because after if you're wholesaling, you should have had a deal.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
can also say to what Terry's saying, it's kind of like the activity versus productivity.
Absolutely.
You could be doing a lot, thinking like, oh, I'm doing stuff, but to Terry's point, you are kind of just like anchoring in, investing into the fear as opposed to the faith. And
Right.
that's the difference, is that's that faith, that belief in yourself that you are an investor, you can and will make this deal happen, period. Because people buy your confidence.
Absolutely. Let's
Right.
give our celebrity coaches one more round of applause. They've
Thank
written
you.
books, they've got courses, they coach, they share. And on this call, they're giving it to you so that you can go and do something with it. It's wonderful to ask us questions. It's even more wonderful to go and show us results. The more activity you put out there, the more questions you're going to have. If you don't have questions on Saturday's calls, it's because you haven't done enough activity to create good questions. And Deborah, I want to say to the point of Terry and Doug, you are an investor. You do close deals. You
Right.
do connect and serve your sellers in a meaningful way by locking up their properties and getting them in the hands of other investors or closing on them yourself.
Okay.
Because they would not sell. This is something that I had to learn the hard way. I am also a licensed real estate agent. They will not sell to you if it doesn't make sense for them. It doesn't necessarily have to make dollars for them, but it does have to make sense for them. Does that make sense? Hence, can't forget it.
Yes. Yes.
People sell at a discount because they have other issues in their lives. Money's not the thing. They have other challenges in their lives. Seek out to solve those problems. You're an investor, which means you solve problems for a profit. Be okay with it. Look, hey, I'm going to make money on this. They know. That's why you're buying it. They
I
understand.
know,
you're gonna
because it's so crazy, because I have so many properties. Like I have a few investors, that have multifamily, we had deals on the table and then they didn't work, land that I had, it didn't work. And I go to the Grant Cardone things, the 10Xs. I've been going for a couple of years. I'm doing everything. I went to the Christian surge we had here in Miami, down here in Broward. I stayed for hours. So I'm out there, I feed the homeless. So I'm connecting with people, but it must be something, because it's not like I don't give up. I'm not a giver upper. That's definitely not. I'm a challenger. So I know that I had these properties in my hand, $58 million properties from Walter and $17 million land, but I'm not closing nothing. And it's getting like, okay.
Careful with that. Careful with that affirmation.
I am closing.
Yeah.
I am closing. I am
Go ahead, Mike,
closing.
go ahead.
Next Saturday, I will be on here saying that I closed the deal next Saturday.
Nice.
Hell
Deborah,
yeah.
I go back to this a lot, but that book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, read that book every day. Walter was reading it every day for 3 months, read it every week, listen to it every month. Just hammer home. You have wealth files that are stopping you and you don't even know because they're subconscious. And just read that book and you'll get new wealth files and suddenly everything opens up from there.
Thank
Secrets
you.
of the
I
Millionaire
appreciate it.
Mind.
I firmly agree
you
with
guys every week.
on reading that book.
Hell
It's
yeah.
amazing. However, I heard something the other day that was just funny. Self-help is not help because you're doing it yourself. And so you're just using your same loop. And
Okay.
even reading books, and I talk about this in my book, and so you can read it and then interpret this wrong too. But the reality is when we interpret information from outside of ourselves, we put it through our filter and we get the same information we had before. And now we think that we're actually implementing new shit, but we're just doing our same thing. That's why you need a mentor. That's why you need a coach, because the reality is we cannot coach ourselves. I have never seen an NBA star have themselves as their coach. I've never seen a baseball player have themselves as their coach.
Sorry, they read all the books.
They read all the books and they still brick it. And so we have to step into saying yes to help outside of ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody I don't know if all of you know my story, but I came from a pretty dark place. I was addicted to drugs. I was addicted to alcohol. I had all of these problems. And the thing that changed my life was not me going, hey, you know what? I don't think this is working anymore. And I changed my life. I got outside help. And I started listening to what other people told me. I read a bunch of books, but all they said was I was a loser and I couldn't do what they were doing. That's what I was reading. And I thought that maybe sometime if I read some of this stuff, it would change my life. But reading doesn't change your life as much as working with somebody outside yourself that they can see you the way you don't see yourself. And so to work together with someone else is what actually helps you create the change. You cannot do it alone.
Yeah, don't take Terry's advice to say, don't read books. That's not what he said.
That's not what I said.
He's saying read the books. Read the
Yes.
books, but also be part of a community. There's one right
Yeah.
here called Alchemist Nation, where there are all sorts of coaches and mentors right in here. Because my story is one of having wealth files that didn't work, changing it to wealth file. I say I'm a money magnet every single day now. And it's because of the support from like Doug and Terry, and of course, Walter and Mitch, that it's changed. So I'm constantly saying, be here, be with us, and stay in it. And so, yeah, so it's a combination.
You know, I got to point something out about Mike Shine. This guy reads every book there is. But the other thing that he does that I don't even know if he's aware of, he takes the principles and he talks to Walter, he talks to me, he talks to all kinds of people about these principles, and then he implements them in his life.
Amen.
With the direction and the interaction from the other people in his life. And so he's constantly looking inside, taking this information, asking himself if he has it right, and then asking the other people outside of himself if he's got it right. And he moves forward fast because he has that back and forth interaction with other people.
Right. Okay.
Too many people think they're doing that, but they're a closed loop.
Mm.
And this is the big point I'm making is if we're taking information in and we think we're doing what it says and we're not getting the result that we're looking for, we've missed the part of the other people working with us. And that is where 99% of failure shows up, is because we didn't actually either ask for the help or accept it once it came.
Okay.
Amen.
I
Nice
love that.
job, Terry.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
One
job.
more round for our celebrity coaches.
I
One more round for
appreciate it.
Deborah.
I
Deborah, what a
appreciate
great
you
question.
guys. I appreciate y'all very, very much, because I'm on a panel of champion mindset, but it's teaching me how to become a public speaker. And then when I do speak, it's like, well, you talk about the homeless people. Well, that's what I'm into. I feed the homeless. I love the homeless. So yeah, maybe becoming a public speaker and talk about the homeless. They like, no, you have to talk about something. You have to make money. You have to this. You have to make money if you want to become a public speaker. But I talk about, my heart is where the homeless at. I love real estate also. So it's those two things. So thank you guys. I'm glad to be a part of you guys for the second week. I think this is the second week. So I'm continuous to be a part of you guys. Next time in the life.
Deborah, you are in the right place. You're doing the right thing. Let's send her a lot of love and a lot of support right now. Give her a round of applause. Awesome job, Deborah. We are here to serve. We're here to get you guys to the next level, each one of you. And in order to do that, you have to be ready and willing to get to that next level. You have to look at it and have a reason to get to the next level, have to want it so badly, believe it's yours, have faith and gratitude, be thankful for the abundance you're moving into, the world and the ability to serve others. The fact that, Deborah, you said that you're training to be a speaker, you are a speaker and you're serving. I'll give you the best piece of advice I got from a coach. He said, teach what you want more of. So if you want the world to be more abundant, teach abundance. If you want the world to have more money, if you want to eliminate homelessness, teach how to have a home. Teach and share how to have money. Teach and share how to have a place. Because the world will not eliminate poverty or homelessness by speaking about it. We can only eliminate poverty and homelessness by teaching how to have homes, how to have wealth. And that is what our whole mission is about. And you have the drive and the power and the passion. Now it's just put it in the right direction and
I wanna-
get the verification that you're moving in the right direction from outside yourself.
I want to give one more tip, especially because you said you're a speaker, and I think if all of us coaches looked at Deborah, your room, you got your computer in the wrong spot. Because you have all the light coming in from behind you.
Put it in front of the window.
And what happens is you end up in witness protection, and so we can't see you.
Getting better.
And
There you go.
What that does
There you go.
is
Got one light, we got light.
Oh,
perfect. Because
I can see she's wearing a rainbow now.
Much
This is awesome.
and the reason I point that out is because when anybody is trying to share a message, and I mean, Walter went through this when he first got online, and I went through this, and we actually had experts tell us what our background looks like, and is this what we want? And I have actually an empty background for one reason and one reason only. I want them to pay attention to me. And so Walter has a bunch of different stuff, but he's actually strategic in what he put back there and why he put it back there, like money and things like that. But, and we all have different strategies. But the one thing, if you look at Walter, if you look at me, if you look at Mike, if you look at Mitch, and you look at Doug, well, don't look at Doug because he turned around right now. But we all are
talking to my daughter.
Absolutely visible because we want people to be paying attention to what we're saying. And so if you want people to take you seriously online, show up so they can see you.
Awesome. Awesome.
Gotcha.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Be the Bank coming up April 16th. Learn how to get passive income, how to get your money working for you. Learn how to help others get their money working for them. Bring them to Be the Bank, be at Be the Bank so that you can become the bank. Cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best. I would say work with the blessed. That feels so.
Blessed.
Working with the blessed
Blessed.
too. Yeah,
Blessed.
with the blessed.
Blessed.
Love it.
Less.
Love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Have a good day. Good night, everyone.
You too.
Bye, everybody. Peace.
Terry, I'll see you on the podcast, brother.
All right.